Hello, it's the DA, and welcome to the DA Gives a Shit show. I know it sounds a shitty show, but no, it's just I care. I want you to know that I care, and today is a great topic, and I hope I catch you in time for you to listen to this. Today's topic is suicide. Yeah, I know it sounds bad. We're going to be talking about suicide, and you know what? It's something. And if I can at least remember, I give a shit. That's what DA does. Okay. And I want you to know I'm not your brother, I'm not your sister, I'm not your dad or mom. I don't know you, but I'm going to tell you that I love you. So please hear me out. Just give me 20, 30 minutes of your time, and then you can do whatever the fuck you want. All right? And I try to do a clean show, but this is a serious topic, and I want to talk about it. I've known people that have done it. I know people who wanted to do it. Believe it or not, the great DA wanted to a few times. And but I never forget what my grandfather told me. Now, before I set this up, okay, it's funny and it's true. Number one, if you've heard any of my shows before, I don't care about gender. You can be whoever you want. So I'm going to split it in two. I'm going to go masculine and feminine because I know women who are very masculine. You're probably more than me, okay? But also know that if what my grandfather told me, okay, and this only goes for men who've grown up with a dick and balls, okay? And he said, you have one job to do. He said, son, your job is shit taker of the world. Now, that's always going to be that way. And yeah, don't worry, yes, pretty girls get by with a lot of stuff. They get a lot of sliding, that kind of thing. But guess what? When you turn into a mom, then they get to take on the role of shit taker of the world. But until then, you're just a pervert, just always chasing tail. And that's the way the world looks at you. So, with that being said, let's get that out of the way. All right. I'll wait. You're laughing right now. Okay. We'll get that out of the way. I'm going to tell you, I understand why you want to do it. I totally understand that. I also know why you shouldn't do it. Okay. And I'll tell you why. Let's start off. Here's why. Some of you are depressed. Some of you actually have legitimate depression. Okay. And no one can take that away from you. And also, I want you to know something. Your feelings are never wrong. Okay? Never wrong. So if anybody tells you how to feel, what to feel, okay, fuck them. Okay? They don't know what you're going through. They have no clear view. All right? I know what you're going through because I've been there. Let me tell you something about me real quick. Before we go, I know I started with something. I'm going to catch that point. I'm 50. I'm 50 years old. Okay? I know I don't sound like it. I've struggled to be a comedian my whole life. My whole life. And even my own comedian friends, except for a couple. There's two that you got to check out. His name's J-Rock, and the other one is Mike Muratori. Those two guys taught me more about comedy than I ever learned in the 15, 16 years I did it. And those are the guys that if they have a show, they're going to say, hey, DA, can you do 15 minutes? Can you come, and of course, and sometimes I'll even get money, believe it or not. And I have been a paid comedian, okay? But there's been times where comedians who I've ran shows and I paid them and said, yeah, do 30, because I'm that guy. I'm like, oh, hey, look, there's time for everyone. Do 30. And yeah, and they did great. But then when I need a favor, when I want to do a show, whether I make money or not, I'm like, no. Or here's my favorite. This is what I like is, well, I don't like it, but I'm like, hey, I'm working out something. Can you at least give me 15, 20 minutes? Sure. And then I show up to Flappers or Comedy Store. Sorry, dude, you only get 5, 6 if you're lucky. But then this guy, just because he showed up on Repo, whatever show that is, the Repo guy, never did comedy in his life, he gets my 20 minutes, you know. So I got tired of that. I got tired of playing that game. So I know, my point is this. So I've been there. I've been depressed. I've lost auditions because I didn't fit the part. I've had gigs taken away from me. Last Comic Standing, I auditioned that 5 times, and I made Kathleen Madigan laugh. I did, and everyone else voted for me except for her. So sometimes life throws you a screwball, and you're lucky if you can hit it. However, you're lucky if you get to play the game. And life is a game. It really is. And I know, here's where I'm going to get a little deep. One of my favorite comics, his name is Doug Stanhope, and he says, hey, first off, Doug Stanhope doesn't give 2 shits about anybody. I don't even think he cares about himself. But he's hilarious. He makes me laugh. I invite you to go watch him when you get a chance, if you don't know who he is. The Man Show. Do you remember The Man Show? Okay. Well, he said a line in one of his shows. He said, hey, look, whatever you do with your life, hey, life isn't for everyone. And I disagree. Because you can say that about maybe a kid who had cancer just coming out the gate. All right? They didn't choose this. Think of what if you've ever seen a kid or know a child who died before the age of 13, because I've seen these kids. Okay, I've seen them. I've gone and visited. That's the kind of guy I am. I'll volunteer. Okay, and it's depressing. And that's why I was like, you know what, I don't know if I would trade with you the pain and the misery that these kids go through. And they feel the opposite of you. They're like, I don't want to die. I want to see what I can do. Could I be a great singer? Could I be a great artist or a comedian or an actor? No. And the best thing they get is a Make-A-Wish Foundation, which I love. I have volunteered for them, and I love them very much, and so if you are listening to me right now, maybe I made you laugh. Now, if I made you laugh, at least give me 72 hours, okay? All right? Because I need you to watch the rest of my videos, and and every time you laugh, you have to add another 72 hours. Are we clear? That's an order. So every time you laugh, you have to give me 3 days, all right, of your life. Because I do care about you. The DA gives a shit. And welcome to my show. Been very depressed. I've even had issues with my own family. My mom and we didn't talk for almost 5 years, and my sister probably a little bit more than that. If you watch my religion, or listen to my religion show, topic of religion is mom is very devout. And I was the other way. It was science, science, science. And I got tired of her telling me that I could pray my problems away. And that just never made sense to me, Well, another thing that I want you to know, young man, young sir, or they, them, masculine, feminine, out there, time heals everything. It does. In fact, a guy, very famous guy, taught me something, and maybe you've heard of him. His name is Bob Marley. And he said, everything gonna be all right. And that's true. Time does heal everything. You know, right now sucks for you. It really does. And by the way, I'll even talk to you. I'll put my number up, okay? And if you guys ever want to talk to me, all right? And or text me. You can text me, talk to me, whatever. I'll give you a minute. Unless you laugh, then I'll give you 72 hours. How's that sound? All right? All right. But I promise you, when I post this, you're going to have my number. And if you do love me, it'd be nice if you could donate some money. Not a lot. I don't need to be a millionaire, okay? But it just helps me know that, hey, maybe there is still love in the world. And it'd be nice. $1, $2, maybe $5. Who knows? It's up to you. It's up to you. And I'll put that on there. So, but yeah, I do care. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't care. My friend Patrick, okay, you can look him up. Patrick Mora, Mora. Yeah, I've called the cops on him at least twice because he damn near slit his wrist right in front of me. You know, and here's the weird part. Okay. Now Patrick was he passed away. He died of a fentanyl overdose. Okay. But I don't think he cared. Comes from a wealthy family. Okay, wealthy. All right. He got pissed because his aunt, his dad left him, moved to Costa Rica. So he stayed with his aunt and his uncle. Nice house. Great house. 4-story house. Has a boat in the King Harbor Marina area. We'd go sailing all the time. We'd go night sailing. He slapped a sea lion once. I didn't ask him to do that. But he did. And that's another story. But yeah, a couple times. And one time he got kicked out of his boat. His uncle said, "No, I don't want you on the boat anymore." So he would stay on mine. And one time, and I know he was on something. I think he thought it was Molly, but it was his heart was racing. His heart was like 150 BPM, you know. And I'm like, "Hey, I'm going to call the ambulance." He says, "No, don't do that. Please don't do that. If I go, I go." I'm like, "No, I'm calling the ambulance." Because no, I don't want that. I don't care. I don't care about my life. And then one day I sat him down and I said, "You know what? I would trade positions with you in a heartbeat. Okay? All right? I don't come from a wealthy family. Money isn't everything. Okay? I'm very good at what I do. I'm smart. I've got a bachelor's degree in computer science. I can make it. Okay? It's a little tougher now that you're 50, but back then, yeah. And there are many times, of course, I've thought about it. I've totally thought about it. And I saved this guy's life twice. And I just wasn't there for the last time. And I don't think he knew what was in. I won't lie to you. He was doing cocaine, and somebody put fentanyl in it. Probably didn't know there was fentanyl in it. That happens. Another friend of mine. His name is Tim. I'm sorry. His name is Chris Kovacs. Okay, we just called him Kovacs. In fact, if you're a fan of Van Halen, he was the nephew of Michael Anthony. Back in when I lived in Glendora, California, and he was the same way. He had anxiety all the time. Obviously addiction. He would take Xanax and Vicodin and drink all night long. And he died at the age of 26. Patrick was 35 when he died. He died last year. And Chris died in 2007, around that time. He was a great guy. Again, came from money, gorgeous family. Brother named Tim. His mom is, oh my gosh, even at her age at the time, 55 years old, just gorgeous, and he was a good man. This is a man that would, if you needed help, he would be there for you anytime. But for some reason, anxiety got the best of him, and I know he's tried to off himself a few times, and maybe that night, I saw him that night. There's a place we used to go to called the Continental in Glendora, and that night, I saw him at the Continental, and I asked him, "Hey, where's your truck?" He says, "Oh, I flipped it on Arrow Highway." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Oh, don't worry, they're towing it right now." But I had my bike on me, so he rode his bike all the way from Laverne to Glendora. Look it up, Laverne, California, to Glendora, California. And I go, "Dude, you should be in the hospital. You're cut up, your face." No, I need a drink. I'm like, "Okay." So I bought him a beer. We hung out for about 20 minutes, maybe 30. And he's always popping pills. And then that was the last time I saw him. And then the next morning, I get the phone call from his mom. It was, "Hey, DA, Chris passed away, and the coroner's here. They're gonna take him in." And then it was a few weeks later, and it was like, "Yeah, it was an overdose. It was an opioid overdose. All the pills he took were opioids. And anxiety is a tough one. Anxiety is you can't mess with anxiety. All right, a lot of friends who just are anxious. I'll tell you another thing about me is I have a hard time eating, and the reason is I've choked 3 times, and I figured, well, 3 times is a charm. So so I didn't eat solid food for like 5 years, and it used to depress the hell out of me. Okay, like, why can't I be normal? I can't do Thanksgiving. I can't do Christmas. I can't do dinner parties. I can't do dates. I can't date. If I date, it's just, "Hey, we're going out for drinks. We're going out for coffee, whatever, or beers, whatever." But I'm not taking you to dinner, because I'm going to sit there and watch you eat, because I can't eat. I can't. And the last time, it's PTSD I have. But I got through it. Guess what? I love juicing, and I love, when I say juicing, not the steroids, like juices, kale and that kind of thing. Protein drinks. I can eat yogurt. I can eat mashed potatoes. Okay, I can. So guess what? Life didn't end with me. But it sucked, because I love things like shrimp and lobster, and there's, I haven't had a steak. I can't remember the last time. I think I blended a steak up one time, long time ago. I was like, okay, it's going to taste like steak. Okay. I don't mean to gross you out. But, so and anybody else would be like, "Yeah, you know what? There's a lot of reasons you should off yourself. But there's also 1,000,000 reasons, 100,000,000 reasons why I shouldn't." And one of them is my sister, my mom, I have 2 nieces and a nephew. I have a gorgeous brother-in-law and a gorgeous another brother-in-law, his brother. I think you can have 2 brother-in-laws, right? I'm not sure how that works, but he's my brother anyway. Yeah, and just I have a great family, and I have great friends. Rami, Mina, MJ, and Antonio. Antonio, he owns the liquor store up the street. And yes, I see him a couple times a week. But he's a dad of 2 babies. Okay, a boy and a girl. He has a sister. I think it's a niece or a sister. Her name is Rena. Gorgeous girl. She's taken, by the way. Don't worry, I tried. That's all right. and even I get the support from them as if they were family. And by the way, Antonio listens to this, so shout out to Dust Till Dawn liquor store in Hermosa Beach, California. All right. Tell them the DA sent you, and you might get an employee discount. All right, wink. Okay. But anyway, yeah. Don't worry, he's not paying me for this. Okay. But that is why I'm still alive and kicking, and life has really kicked me in the butt a few times. It kicked me in the balls, and I'm not talking. Look, and by the way, I've never been divorced. Okay, never been married. I've had fiancés and girlfriends, just like everybody else. Okay. But so I have to be lucky that I don't owe child support. I don't owe alimony. Okay, but I know many of my friends do, if not both alimony and child support. So and they're still alive. They're still alive and kicking. And yes, they have bad days, and that's why you have friends. Okay, that's why you have friends and family. And yes, sometimes family is not going to understand. They're just not. But guess who will understand? Yeah, your buddy Buck. He's the guy who's like, hey, I got your back. I got your back. Okay? Fuck the rest of them. You know what? I understand, and I'm right here for you, homie. That's your buddy. Okay? That's the guy that you should live for. If you can just pick one, that's it. Your buddy Buck. Yeah. And then now women, or the feminine side of this is yeah, same thing. But you have a full circle. Look, you all know that you're bitches. Okay, you all know it. All right. You got past that. I'm sure you've called each other names. I'm sure you haven't even talked to each other for 6 months at a time. But guess what? When you have a problem, they're right there, aren't they? They form that circle of friends, and you sit there and you eat Baileys, and you drink Baileys, and you eat cake. Excuse, I screwed that up. But they're there for you. So I'm going to post my number, but I'm going to leave it with you. I love you. I care about you, and I give a shit. If you want to text me or call me, all right. My number is 323-790-6763. You can text me on that. And I'm the DA. And thank you for watching. And yeah, if you can, Venmo me or Cash App, I'll post it up. So I love you. And I love each other. And that's an order.